Chapter 5. Transportation Flying. Listen and answer. December 17, 1903 was a cold, windy day. On the sands at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, a small group of men stood, 5 being spectators, and the other 2 Orville and Wilbur Wright. In the sand was set a long metal-covered wooden rail, 8 inches high. At one end of this rested the flyer, very similar in shape to the Wrights' first glider, but bigger, and fitted with the motor engine connected to 2 propellers behind the wings. The time was 10:30 in the morning. All was ready and the 2 brothers looked at each other inquiringly. Orville produced a coin and spun it. Wilbur called wrong and with a grin the other climbed into the machine, placing himself flat on the lower plane. The engine was started and while the spectators watched breathlessly and Wilbur ran alongside, the flyer began to move along the rail. It gathered speed and after traveling 40 feet along the rail, rose gradually into the air to the height of 8 or 10 feet. For 12 seconds, the machine traveled at the speed of 10 miles an hour and then landed on the sand. 3 more flights were made that morning, getting longer as the brothers became more skillful with the controls. The 4th lasted nearly a minute and covered 852 feet. You can imagine the joy of the brothers. They had been the first men to fly, as distinct from gliding in a heavier-than-air machine. Satisfied that their machine would fly, they returned home and during the winter made a bigger and better one. When it was completed, they invited the newspaper men to come and see it fly. But the machine refused to behave itself that day, and the reporters went away without very much faith in the Wright brothers. People were too accustomed to hearing of men trying in vain to fly, to take much notice of the claims of the 2 inventors. One day, a newspaper reporter lay hidden behind a hedge, watching the 2 brothers. When the aeroplane rose into the air and flew about, he was astonished and dashed off to the post office to send the story to his paper. But the editor would not believe it and the reporter got into trouble for sending such nonsense. 1. How was the flyers from the glider made by the Wright brothers? 2. How many people were present at the site of the flight on December 17, 1903, at 10:30 a.m.? 3. Who flew the flyer? 4. The machine refused to fly in front of the newspaper men. Did it discourage the Wright brothers? Let's listen and figure out. Listen to the audio track of the procedure at the terminal before you board a plane. Then answer orally the questions given. The terminal building or buildings are the largest at the airport and are the center of many services and activities. All passengers must pass through a terminal when boarding or leaving an airplane. When you arrive at the terminal, you will first go to the airline ticket counter. There, in exchange for your ticket, the airline agent will give you a boarding pass, which gives you permission to sit in a specific seat on the airplane. The airline agent will attach a cardboard label to your baggage. The label has an identification number that matches one that is stapled to your boarding pass. The label also has a 3-letter code which identifies the airport at which you will land and helps the airline baggage handlers get your bags to the correct airplane. Your baggage will then travel on a conveyor belt into the underground belly of the airport. On international flights and some domestic flights, the baggage will be checked for weapons. A baggage handler will load all the baggage for your flight onto a cart, drive the cart to the airplane, and load the baggage onto the plane. While you wait to board your plane, there may be time to visit some of the many shops located in the terminal. These include banks, newsstands and bookstores, restaurants and snack bars and gift shops. Most international airports also have duty-free shops. Some airports have an observation lounge, where large windows allow you to watch airplanes take off, land and taxi to a gate. Gates are the points from where passengers leave the terminal and board the airplane. Before heading to your gate, you will be screened by an electronic device that detects hidden weapons. Any bags that you are carrying on the plane will be passed through an X-ray machine to be sure that they do not contain any weapons. These security checks are necessary to prevent the airplane from being hijacked. The next stop is your gate, where your airplane is waiting. The distance between the main part of the terminal and the gate may be too far to walk. At some airports, you will have to take a quick train ride. In others, you will take a shuttle bus to a midfield terminal, which is separate from the main terminal. In still other airports, passengers are transported to their gates on moving sidewalks. When you reach your gate, you will find yourself in a large open waiting room. From here, you will board your plane, most likely via a short covered. Let's listen and speak. Speak about the stages which a passenger has to pass through before boarding an aeroplane for an international flight. Speak in the right order. Students are asked to come forward one by one and speak. Let's listen and answer. Listen to the audio track and answer the questions. The Jumbo is the largest aeroplane in the world. It is 231 feet 4 inches long, 195 feet 8 inches from wing to wing, and 63 feet 6 inches high. It weighs more than 180,000 kilograms when empty and 388,000 kilograms when fully loaded. It can carry 450 to 500 passengers on 2 decks in great comfort and luxury at a speed of about 1,000 kilometers per hour. It flies at a height of 30,000 to 45,000 feet, far above the clouds, and can travel non-stop over a distance of 11,400 kilometers. And what about the inside of the Jumbo? The Jumbo is more beautifully decorated and luxuriously furnished than even the palace of a Mughal king. In fact, 2 Jumbos owned by Air India have been named after Mughal kings Akbar and Shah Jahan. The walls inside are lined with beautiful paintings. The floors are covered with the finest carpets, and the seats are long, wide, and comfortable enough to sit, relax, or sleep. During their journey, passengers are given a princely treatment. There are smartly dressed, smiling, and courteous air hostesses ready to obey their commands. The passengers are served with excellent food and drinks of their choice, and to while away their time, they can listen to music, watch a film, or read a book or a magazine. They just don't feel that they are traveling. Except during landing and taking off, they feel as if they were sitting in their drawing rooms. No jerks, no bumps. The flight is so smooth and noiseless. Even if they look through the window, nothing seems to move, not even the aeroplane. They hardly hear the noise of the engines. And while the passengers are sitting in their luxurious and air-conditioned palace, flying 35,000 feet above the ground, the temperature outside the aeroplane might be 50 degrees below freezing point. 1. Which is the largest plane in the world? 2. How many passengers can it carry? 3. What is the speed of the Jumbo? 4. What has Air India named its Jumbos? 5. Who takes care of the passengers? 6. What is the temperature outside the aeroplane? Let's speak. Practice speaking these sentences. 1. Excuse me, please. Could you show me the way to the terminal? 2. Good morning. May I know where the luggage is being weighed? 3. Excuse me, may I have a few tags? 4. I would be glad if you could assist me in filling this immigration form. 5. Is there anything I can do for you? In-flight notes. Welcome aboard. Sit back and relax. If there is anything you require, just call a member of the cabin crew. Before takeoff, the crew will demonstrate the safety features of the aircraft, while additional information can be found in the folders in the seat pocket in front of you. For your comfort as well as safety, seat belts must be fastened during takeoff and landing, and seat backs and tray tables should be in an upright position. In the event of encountering turbulent weather, you are advised to remain seated with your seat belts fastened. Most experienced travelers also usually keep seat belts loosely fastened during flight for extra comfort in case of unexpected turbulence. Please remember not to smoke during takeoff and landing and in the toilets. Portable radios and television can interfere with the aircraft's sophisticated electronic system besides annoying other passengers. We would also like to remind you to keep your hand baggage secure under your seat or safely stored in the overhead lockers. Loose baggage can be a safety hazard. Cocktails, baby food, or additional reading material are available but in limited supply. Suggestion cards are also available in the event of passengers wanting to make suggestions. Kindly inquire about these items from the cabin crew. Have a pleasant flight. Air India is happy to fly you anytime, anywhere. 1. We must always walk about during flight. 2. The crew never speaks on safety measures. 3. Seat belts must be fastened during takeoff and while landing. 4. One should not smoke during takeoff and landing. Loose baggage is a safety hazard. Let's communicate. Your friend is planning to travel by air to a foreign country. Instruct her about her air flight. Say it right. Cry. Cries, shield. Tried. Plead, please. Field. Fried, try. Tries, yield. Shy, brief. Rain, fierce. Chief, vain. Pierce, chicken in the car and the car can go. That is the way you spell Chicago. Poem. The aeroplane. I sweep the skies with fire and steel. My highway is the cloud. I swoop, I soar, aloft I wheel. My engine laughing loud. I fight with gleaming blades. The wind that dares dispute my path, I leave the howling storm behind. I ride upon its raft. I laugh to see your tiny world. Your toys of ships, your cars, I rove an endless road unfurled, where the milestones are the stars, and far below, men wait and peer for what my coming brings. I fill their quaking hearts with fear, for death is in my